If you're new to Make Writing Your Job, this is one of our class stacks. We've had so much fun teaching different classes and so much fun basically bringing to you different things that we are up to and we're interested in. And today I'm really excited to be co-hosting this with Vercel. So we're going to wait a minute for everybody to join, but just wanted to say welcome. One of my favorite things about teaching classes here at Make Writing Your Job is that there's so much to learn when it comes to the world of writing, writing tools, different things like that. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, Aiden. And so when it comes to these classes, it's been really neat to just see how much there is to learn when it comes to writing, when it comes to being able to understand what tools do writers need to do the jobs that we do, what are the things that are really important when it comes to building your website, which is what we're going to be talking about today with our incredible panelists who will be on soon. And so if you're new to Make Writing Your Job and new to our community, then you may be familiar with our writing job board. And so our writing job board comes out 5 days a week. And then we have the pitch list, which comes out 2 days a week. And so our writing job board has really interesting copywriting roles, freelance roles, memoir ghostwriting roles. And then for the pitch list, we've seen just an enormous amount of new pitches, pitch calls from different editors who are hiring writers across the board. And then grants, contests, and residencies comes out once per week and is jam-packed with grants. So people who want to pay you for your writing, contests, so things that you can enter and submit for different types of contests for short story contests and things like that. And then also residencies. And residencies are kind of like a sneak peek of being able to join a community, be somewhere on location. We've seen really cool residencies in places like Berlin. We've seen places like just really incredible places where people will fly you out to a location, sometimes pay you a stipend so that you can then work in peace. And so those are all of the things that we offer here at Make Writing Your Job. And it's been really, really, really fun to be able to kind of like play in this kind of like this world of different opportunities and things like that. And so that's kind of the things that we're up to if you're new. And then we also have a lot of classes that are very popular in terms of our portfolio class is one of our most popular classes. And if you haven't taken it already, highly recommend. In terms of all of our classes for Make Writing Your Job, I think that the portfolio is kind of this bedrock. So when you're coming into a Make Writing Your Job class, you're trying to kind of figure out, what am I going to take from this and actually bring my writing and my career to the next level. And a portfolio is kind of obvious when it comes to writing because how are you going to be able to show your work? And the website is kind of building off of that as well. So when you're thinking about, hey, I need to then take my work and share it with other people. That's kind of what is really exciting. But I've talked a little bit about the community here, and I'm really excited that Caroline from Vercel is going to be joining us. So hey, everybody. And
Hi.
so once Ricky comes on, I'll have him introduce himself as well. Awesome. You must be Ricky.
Yes, I am. How are you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So we have about 17 people so far, but would love to kind of kick this off. I was just telling everybody, for anyone who's new, a little bit about Make Writing Your Job and what we do with the community and some of our other popular classes. But I'm so excited to have you guys here because Caroline taught such an amazing class for AI Snack Club, which is another group that I was a part of here in San Francisco, and just was obsessed with the V0 tool, with how it can create beautiful websites. So Caroline and Ricky, I'm so excited to have you guys here. Maybe you could introduce yourselves and talk a little bit about Vercel. So I'm really, really excited to share it with our community today.
Oh, thank you, Amy. And Ricky and I are in the same room. Can you hear us? All right, we're next to each other, but we're having some issues getting it on the screen. Is the audio okay?
Yeah, it's good for me. And so,
Okay, cool.
and anybody who is on the chat here, I know we don't have an open chat. We have just Q&A. If you guys have any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A, and then we can get to them at the end of the session as well.
Awesome. Somehow it's like more vulnerable to talk to people and like not being able to see them. I'm like, we're just gonna see how it goes. But awesome. Well, I'm Caroline. As Amy said, I run community here at B0, and we had an event, gosh, probably a month ago now. And it was amazing, and it was a group of women building, and I love that, and I love doing more of that. And so we're excited to get together right now. I can give a little bit of context. Well, actually, I'll let Ricky. So I brought in Ricky because I did, Amy. You're very generous that I did a great demo. Ricky's an engineer and will do an even better demo. And also I learned is a writer. And so I was like, this is perfect. And so that's kind of how this came to be. So we're really excited about it. But
Yep.
Ricky, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Ricky. I am an engineer here at V0. I work across a lot of different things. So I've worked on our Git stuff. I've worked on our ambassador program, referrals, doing some like UI, UX stuff now. So really all across the spectrum. Been here for about 7 months and been using V0 for a couple years now. I recently rebuilt my entire personal website and my new blog with V0. So yeah, excited to show you guys some things.
And Ricky, what kind of writing do you do? Since you're in we're in amongst a community of writers, so we would love to
Yeah,
hear a little bit
yeah.
about what you're working on the writing side.
I think most of my pieces are, well, I have two up. I have some in the backlog, but most of them are about like my experience and how it relates to the world. So really like more like personal and introspection pieces, not really they're more expressions of myself and then like other people just get to see them. That's how I think about the writing.
Awesome. Very cool. And Ricky, I know that you say that Caroline was hyping up your website. So I would love for you to kind of walk you through that, or walk us through that and kind of what you've built so far with the V0 tool. And then also it'd be great to maybe just give a little bit of background for our writers about the V0 tool that you guys have built.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. So I can do two things. I can give like a quick overview of what my website looks like so you can see the possibilities. So I designed mine's I wanted to feel like a museum. And so I have this like curator statement, I have these wings, I have these quotes that I like. My first one is we have this like consume page, which things that I intake that have inspired different creative pursuits. So like music is a big one, like film and TV, and then places. And then I also really, really love to read. So I have like all these different books, and like for some of them, right, you click and it shows you like why this book is important. And then we have this create, which is like my blog. So V0 is really cool, and I built this in V0. You can do two things. You can start with like existing surface. So if you already have something like a website and you want to iterate on that website and it's on like GitHub, you can bring that in and V0 can work with it. Or you can start completely from scratch. And so what I actually did is that I started from scratch with this website on V0. I was like, hey, this is like my theme. I'm gonna see if I can actually find this chat. This might be like the one I started with.
And for context, I have a personal site that's on Squarespace, and obviously I started it myself, and that is illegal to have a site on Squarespace. And so I gave it screenshots, and V0 was able to regenerate. So for example, people who like have a website that they manage but want a way to be able to in natural language manage it with V0, it's very easy to transfer.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna pull in my repository. Just a second. So it's called,
And again, I know we probably have a lot of, or we might have some non-technical folks on here. I will just continue to represent that voice in the room of like, I never used GitHub before starting at V0. And so even if what Ricky just did is very magical for those of you who are technical, and if you're like, what the hell is GitHub? And like, I don't have that, you don't have to have
yeah.
GitHub to do this.
So this is gonna take a little bit to load, but the beauty is what we'll see here is that we'll see this website that I showed you guys here, right? This will populate inside of this browser. So while I chat and send messages, you'll be able to see the updates and be able to see the site live. Um, and so like we'll try to build something here. I have this blog and like I don't know, people look at it. I don't know if people really like it or not. How can I tell? I'm gonna add the ability to like it. So we're gonna say like, hey, can we add the ability to like blog posts?
And again, Ricky, you're an engineer. So like
Yes.
what you showed to you, like you do that every day, but that is very magical what he just did of taking a live site and importing it now. And just as if you would talk to a friend to change something, is
Yeah.
being able to do that with V0, like is incredible.
Yeah.
And I just want to echo as a writer, and I know a lot of writers on this call also have struggled with website builders. I've spent hours doing like all of these other website builders and just tinkering with 10 different pages and something moves and then something moves where it's not supposed to. And so when I went to the demo night with Caroline, I was like, wow, I can just type in and like tell it that I want something and it does it. So just like what Ricky's doing right now, I'm just like, this is amazing. I don't have to go click into like 10 different pages to change something and change that then ripples and like changes five other things. So that's what I think is also really special about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even like on that front, I do the same thing. I even though I'm an engineer, like I don't want to sit and configure things. I don't want to like play around with like I just want to tell it what to do and then let it go do it. And like as you can see, I know for those who like aren't familiar, right, with a lot of applications, you'll have a database where we store information. And so V0 will automatically, it can create the database for you. It can like um, populate the database with like data and whatnot. So you don't really have to worry about like, oh, how is this saved? How do I make sure X, Y, Z? Like V0 automates a lot of that magic. And so you don't have to do it. While we're here, I'll show you some of the things like we could open this in a new tab so we can see like the preview here. We can change the size. So I know a big thing like, and I actually need to fix this, right? Like if you look, this is too close together. That is like terrible design, right? And so one of the things that you can do is like think about like as a writer, your words are important, but sometimes we don't think about like how we present the words. And so people might not want to read if it's not visually appealing. And so you can think about like the format and the size of the screen and help shape your content to fit within um, whichever device size. All right, so this is still going.
Yeah, and I just want to chime in here. One of the things that was really interesting is that as a writer, like I rely a lot on my analytics to see where my clients are coming from, where my readers are coming from. And what I saw is that so many more people are coming over through mobile, and mobile optimization is one of the most annoying things that I've had to deal with website builders. And so to be able to like change and see that size and be able to edit it more directly, I think is really important in such a mobile first world when we're all on our phones. And where, if you're a freelance writer, a client might pull up your portfolio on their phone and want to easily be able to click through it. And so being able to have that editing capacity is just so important and something that I want to stress when people are creating websites, especially writers wanting to work with clients or wanting there to be an easy way to digest your writing for wanting other people to kind of discover your work and be able to see it in the wild. And also, Ricky, I just want to say I love the minimal design of your website. You have some really nice fonts in here.
I appreciate that. I honestly like that's all V0, right? Like I feel like I have pretty solid design taste, but if I was to go through and choose the specifics of things, it just wouldn't work. Like that's not where I'm gifted at. And so like I can just make sure, hey, does this look well with V0? But it chose the font. I can't even take credit for that. Okay. So as you see now we can like this piece. And so now hopefully if I was to send it to someone, then it would work, right? And you mentioned analytics. One thing that I think is pretty cool is that if I go to settings here and then I click analytics, I can see like things about visitors page views. So no one's looking at my site.
I've looked at your site, so there's got to be something on there.
But yeah. So I don't know. I might need to look at why this is happening. But you can like get information like this about, what's going on with things.
And Ricky, how much time would you say that it's taken so far to kind of put together this kind of first version of a website? Not first version, but like everything that you
Wow.
have so far.
I think I'm at like 4 focus sessions across a few weeks, right? Because I work and like I have to actually write the pieces. But in terms of like spending time on the design, I'd say like 4 focus sessions got me where I wanted to go. And that was things like thinking about performance, which is like really big. If you have a piece, you want it to load as soon as someone comes up, right? Like one of the things that you might have noticed is that like if we go here and we like refresh the page, you're not really like seeing anything change. You're not seeing like the website jump. V0 was able to do that, right? So just like things like that. Yeah, 4 focus sessions. That was probably it.
That's awesome. That's great. And so, yeah, I think what do you feel like has been the main like takeaway when you were kind of like creating the vibe that you wanted? I like how you said you wanted a museum. What was like the biggest thing where you're like, how do I communicate this to I know we're writers here and Ricky, you're a
Yeah.
writer too, but what was like the main kind of like prompting challenge or like how did you communicate it? Did you come in with a color scheme? Like what did you come into with View Zero to kind of get where you wanted it to go?
Yeah, so for me, and like most things, I start like, what's the story that I want to tell? And so I think about like what the vibe I wanted to be, what kind of information I wanted to communicate. And like when someone looks at the site, what do I want them to think about me? And I just prompted that. Like that it was, I'm going to see if I can find this. Um, is this the first one? I don't know if this is the first one. Let's see. No, this isn't the first one. I will find the first one so you guys can see like what my prompt was. But it really is like you can talk to agents and you can talk to V Zero the same way that you get your thoughts out. So for me, like that might be like I have this central idea and I start with that. For some people, it's just a stream of thoughts, right? And you just keep iterating in like that in that nature. That would be my advice.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. And at the demo, like in like 20 or 30 minutes when we were in person with Caroline, I was able to build a book cover designer tool like within like 20 or 30 minutes with just like one prompt. And it was so cool to see. And so it was really neat to just see it like, oh, this is like magic. Like this is like what it feels like to be writing. And then it's just there. And then the website is live. Like, and that's so neat. Yeah. Is there anything else that you think that writers should know? I know we have a writer here who we're going to do a demo with, but is there anything else, Ricky and Caroline, that writers should know about the tool, about the process before we bring our writer on to do a demo with building her website?
Yeah, I think there's one more thing. Like technology can be really scary, but I would think of V Zero the same way you think of like a writing partner or someone to bounce ideas off of. V Zero does a great job of if it needs clarification or if you are ambiguous about what you want and you're like, hey, what should I do? It'll respond and it'll give you something to think about, right? So you can use it to check your ideas, to check the things that, you don't know if this makes sense or you don't know if this fits into the context of, your identity or your persona, et cetera. And it'll like I don't have an example, but like it'll show you options to choose from, and you can choose that option and keep going. So you don't have to have it all figured out. Like go through the same creative process, transfer your writing creative process to the website design creative process. It's the same thing.
I love that. Yeah. And Caroline, I know you've done like a lot of demos and events. Is there anything else that you want to say about Vercel or V0? Because I think it's such a cool creative partner for a lot of us writers who are, some of us who are more technological than others. Like, I'm curious if there's anything that you think people should know about V0, Vercel, and what you guys are building.
Yeah, I would say that to Ricky's point on like technology can be scary. I think that this is actually such an exciting moment because it's truly like, if you have an idea, you can now bring it to life. And it's no longer a debate of, if this is possible or like how hard it would be to do. Like it's really, I think, shifting the conversation to conversation. It's like, why are we building this? How are we building this? Not like if, can, and when. It's like in 10 seconds you can. And so I think for me, I'm very excited about this moment because I'm someone who has a lot of ideas, but no technical capability. And Ricky knows this, like I am shipping PRs,
Yeah.
like which like means like I'm changing some of the code base with the help of our V0 agent, which is wild to say. So from a professional standpoint, it's been a huge unlock, but also from a personal creativity perspective, like I host a lot of events personally and using Ricky's been at some of my parties. People think I'm like running a multi-level marketing scheme because like all of my invites to my parties are now on V0 because it's kind of addictive. Like it's so fun to have these ideas on a walk and literally be able to talk to V0 on my phone and then have something be brought to fruition. And so I just say just get in it and start talking. I'm a yapper if you can't tell. So I do a lot of mine either using voice dictation to V0 or I use Granola. and talk through ideas and then use our granola MCP and V0 to just connect all that context. So I just get in it and start playing.
Yeah, and I want to say one more thing, actually. I know that, when for people who are creative and for people who like we have traditionally lived in a world where unless you had like a hard technical skill, it's as if your things, your ideas, what you can contribute weren't valued. And because of technologies like V0, we're starting to enter to a place in a world where that's actually the easy part, and the people who have the creativity, the ingenuity, the thoughts, who can go deep on the subject are the ones that will be super valuable as long as they learn how to use the technology to communicate those ideas. And so like I can't see you guys. I wish I could like look into your eyes, but like this is your way to get your work out there and for people to discover you. And like I really, really do hope you take the opportunity to do that. And if you ever need help, like hit us up. I'm sure we can get you our contact info. But this is a perfect time to be a creative and a writer. And I'm excited to capture and take advantage of it. And I hope you guys are too.
That's awesome. No, I agree. And there was so much creative energy in the room when Caroline, when you hosted that event. So I was excited to bring you in. So I'm going to bring up Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, I'm going to turn you into a panelist, pull you up on screen. And Elizabeth, first of all, I want to mention Elizabeth just launched her first Substack, Songs to Save Your Day, which I would love for you to talk about, Elizabeth, before we kind of walk you through how to build your website. So Elizabeth, welcome, and would love for you to share a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I can't believe that I get to do this. Um, yeah, I just launched my Substack. It's a music Substack focused on songwriting. And um, so I was a musician for a really long time, and I ended up stepping away from it a few years ago because I just sort of hate the industry, as does everybody. And so I made this Substack as kind of a way for me to get back into music, but also like bring more appreciation to great songwriting, which I feel like we've sort of generally gotten away from in society, unfortunately. So that's what that's about.
Amazing. And then Elizabeth, I know you mentioned when you had reached out that you have kind of like an idea for like a portfolio website. You and I have talked a little bit about your kind of like writing portfolio website and how to kind of share your stuff as a creative. So we'd love for you to share a little bit about that, and then we'll hand it over to Caroline and Ricky to walk you through how to make that real.
Okay, great. Sorry if you can hear my babies like yelling in the background.
No, I'm
Um,
more like that's just amazing that you're doing all this also with a full house.
Oh
So
yeah, there's a lot going on here. So my I have a website. It is a Squarespace website, and it is kind of all over the place because my background is just kind of all over the place. I mean, I'm obviously a writer. I was a musician for a long time. I also work in film. I basically want to like gear my website to be showcase my work, but also bring in clients for like memoir writing or, just generate work, writing work. So sorry, I get nervous talking in front of groups. I'm not even sure what else did you ask me to say?
No, that's all. That's all awesome. No, I know we've talked about this before, and so I'll pass it over to Caroline and Ricky to help walk you through. And I think it would probably be best. I know you've talked about when you want a website that is more like single scroll and everything
Yeah,
on
I
one
would like a one
page.
page. Yes, totally.
And I know that you and I have talked about, and it's something that I've talked about to the community a lot. Having all of your stuff on one page from a
Hmm.
website is sometimes really helpful for clients to see everything and just have a long scroll.
Yeah.
And do you have like some screenshots of like a different kind of like design ideas and things as well?
Yeah, I grabbed some. They're just sort of like aesthetic ideas that I pulled. How do should I
Amazing.
like share my screen or?
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Also,
Oh,
Amy, I'm not sure if I have a way to share in the chat to everyone, but I do have credit codes, so I can give codes, and so everyone could build along with us. And certainly Elizabeth for you as well for using V0. Is there a way I could share that?
Yeah, I think we can just share it verbally because there's no chat feature, which is annoying with, I'm trying to think if there's any way. Yeah, we can just give them the code verbally, and then I can also share it with the replay as well.
Okay. It's V0 dash writers dash workshop. And if you go to v0.app, that's our website. You can just click, well, you'll sign in and make an account, and then you can just click your profile, and there is a place to do redeem usage code. And so that's where you'll just redeem v dash writers dash workshop.
And then is it V, is there any capitalization with it at all or all lowercase?
It's all capital, but it isn't actually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Great. Okay. Thank you
Cool.
for that.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, listen, I
So
think if you just want to open up V0 and then we can kind of just start coaching you through how
Yeah.
to do it.
I should open up V0. Okay.
Yeah, if you want to share your screen, it's very vulnerable, but I think it is easier.
I have like 5 million tabs open, so let me open a clean window here.
Don't worry, I had to do that too. I had to-
Me too. Yeah.
Look like an insane person. Is it sharing my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yes.
can see your
Oh,
screen.
okay. Okay. So go to v0.com. Is that what you said it
Dot
is? Or
app.
dot app.
And then as we get started, Elizabeth, let me ask, what would be most helpful? Like, do you want to just like build and we give you tips along the way? Do you want us to like build and coach you together at the same time? Like, what experience would you like?
Um, I mean, if we're getting a credit to work on this further, I mean, I'd love to sort of play around with it, I guess. So maybe if you can talk me through would be more helpful. I
Okay.
mean, it's also sounds more scary to do it on my own, to be the one doing it, but it's probably better.
Cool. You want to sign in?
Oh, right. So I make an account. Um,
And for anyone building along at home, if you have any feedback and like product experience, please like reach out to us, share anything. Amy, feel free to give our contact information.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. You ready?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing, we can spend time thinking about the prompt. Like you said you kind of know what you want. You want a single page with
hmm
like unlimited scroll. And you know what? You can also you can say you can tell V0 like, hey, like I'm still figuring out exactly what I want, but like this is what I have so far. And you can do, would you prefer it starts generating stuff and you go back and forth, or would you prefer to collect your thoughts first?
And I go back and forth. You mean like kind of keep
Yeah.
editing it as it sure. Yeah, I think that because I really don't know how this is going to like look. So, yeah. So
Okay.
you think I should just tell it that I want a one page, but I'm not sure what else I want?
So tell it who you are and tell it what you're looking for
Okay.
and what you want to accomplish with it.
Mm, uh,
Okay. And
does
then
that seem
this is great.
okay?
The one thing I would add, and this is not really like V0 doesn't need this, but this just helps like you get to the type of site that you want and like the generation that you're looking for. How do you want people to feel when they look? Like what's the vibe or the theme that you're going for, you know?
hmm Yeah, I guess I want it to be kind of like I like sort of like the retro kind of 70s look. Should I type that? I guess I should be telling
Yeah.
that, not you.
It's like the same thing, right? You write songs. It's like the same thing when you think about writing for like certain BPM or certain tempo, right? Like you're
hmm
cultivating like how I want to
What
feel
kind of
or
mood
what
you
the
want to
yeah,
create.
it's the same thing.
Okay. Um, I don't know
It's okay.
what
It's
else to
and,
say.
and if this you can just send this and we can think about it some more and we can follow up. In fact, why don't
Yeah.
you go ahead and enter
Okay.
and we'll let Visual cook a little bit.
And then also if you want to bring up the screenshots too,
Okay.
well, you could add those in another prompt.
And then, Caroline, what was the code again? I'm going to share it. And I think I can send this question answered to everybody. Is V0-writers-workshop?
Yes.
Okay, cool. I'm going to send this and hopefully everybody can see this.
So do I upload these?
Yeah, so you can just drag it
Oh,
into the prompt bar.
And you can send, this is one of my favorite features, again, as someone who has a lot of ideas, often at once, you can send a bunch of prompts at once and queue them up. So as you're thinking and iterating, you can just keep going.
okay. Okay, cool.
So I don't know if Ricky would suggest that from a product philosophy perspective, but for an ADD brain, it is helpful.
Yeah, and even what Caroline you had mentioned earlier, you like dictating to it. I do that all the time with these tools. I love to just turn on the microphone and just have stream of consciousness like thought about like I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this, I'm thinking about this. I think that helps, and like just like you said, it can when you're going on a walk, or for me when I'm on my treadmill desk, it's just kind of nice to be
Yeah.
able to talk to it because we're as writers we're always like typing all day, so it's kind of nice to be able to just like treating it like a creative assistant and being like I want my website to that like have confetti when people land on it or something like that, and it just does it, which I love.
So if I wanted to talk to it, then I would just, how do I just talk to it
Well,
instead of
right
dictate?
now you have the screenshots there, and so you would have to queue those and clear.
Oh,
But
okay.
let's let it generate, and then we'll keep going from there.
And if anyone, while we're building, if anyone has any questions, you can send in the Q&A, right?
Yeah, so we have one question from John, and John says, "Is it good to have a domain for my writing portfolio despite being a newbie right away?" So maybe Ricky or Caroline, if you guys can talk a little bit about like what, like the domain, like how to make your website live. What does that look like?
Yeah, absolutely. You should look if you're ready for people to see it, then you can put it out there on the internet and you can buy a domain and configure that like custom domain. In fact, if we have time at the end, I'll show you, what that looks like because you can do it right from V0. But absolutely, yeah, you should absolutely do that.
And one other question that I know that a lot of writers have about building their website is how like what are the things that they have to connect? Like I know with like website builders, like it's like a lot of like do it for you, but do you have to have a GitHub? Do you have to have a database? Like what does V0 do for you? And like what is when writers are trying to build like a website just to host their writing, what do they need and what does like how do they work with V0 for that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, do you need a GitHub? No, you don't need one at all. You can use GitHub if you want to go do other stuff outside of Visual with it. But the beautiful thing about this tool is that you can handle everything from inside of Visual. So if you don't ever want to do that, you don't have to. When it comes to the database, right? We do a database is used to like store information. So say like you have a contact me form, which Elizabeth is going to have and going to need, right? You can configure that so that when people contact, it saves them in the database. And so now you have their contact info to go back to, right? Or like you can set up things such as when someone contacts me, it automatically sends me an email using something like resend or those things. And so there's an integrations tab that we can also show later. But you can handle all of those things inside of V0. You don't have to like go figure out what the best thing to use separately is and then come back.
And to add on to that again, to the non-technical representative here, I think the coolest part of that is that you can just ask B0
Yeah.
what it should be using. So for people who want to get in the weeds and like open the database and look at that, like you can do that. But like I often just am like, I want to be able to way to track XYZ, like make it easy. And I never touch the back end and it handles everything for me.
So if I want to, so like I said, I have a website already, but it's kind of a mess. So if I wanted, can I like take this and use it on that domain or like how does that work? Is this also host?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you can point this site to that domain. I can show you how to do that actually. We can figure that out.
Okay.
I think it'd be cool to also see because I know it just generated the first version of the website.
Yeah.
Elizabeth, I know you had some screenshots. Do like maybe to kind of
Oh
show
yeah.
the design and like Elizabeth, like how are you feeling about the design? What do you want changed? It might be cool to kind of hear a little bit from Ricky and Caroline about like how like to adjust based on whatever vision that you have, Elizabeth.
Yeah. Well, so I mean, did it take into account the screenshots yet, or I have to send those?
You need to send those.
Okay. Yeah, because this is really nice, but it is a like a little middle of the road, I guess. But I didn't put the aesthetic stuff in there, so.
And while it's taking a look at those, you can click this preview. You can like go click on the different tabs. You can see what it came up with, offer specific feedback
Oh,
if
okay.
you have.
And then Ricky, would it be able to like if Elizabeth was able to give it like her Squarespace domain and be like, here's what I'm currently working with. I like this. I want this change. I like this. Like, is that a helpful way to prompt it as well?
Yeah, that works if you wanted to take a screenshot of your website and
Okay.
then say, hey, like I like this about this, or I want to change this. You
Hmm.
can also do that.
Okay. So when I upload screenshots, I can also like I can explain to it the context of it. Cool.
Yeah, for sure. What you'll want to do is like if you upload the screenshot, you'll also want to type before you send.
Type before I send. Okay.
Yeah. And then if we look at the chat, we can if you scroll down, check in to see what's going on.
Over on the left, if you
Oh,
go.
sorry.
There.
Okay, see now it's let me completely redesign everything. So
Okay.
scrap it
Here
and
we
start
go.
over.
It's pretty amazing.
And then another thing that might be helpful for writing websites, Elizabeth is trying to figure out. I guess Ricky and Caroline, that's a good question for you. Like, what, like, if because Elizabeth, I think you have a PDF portfolio of your work. Are you able
Hmm.
to upload that, Ricky and Caroline, and then can it pull that and bring it into the website? Just kind of trying to think about for writers who already have some other materials that are maybe also not websites. Like, what are the best ways to handle things like that too?
Yeah, that's a great question. So is your PDF like all your works in one PDF?
Not all of my work, but the stuff that I send people mostly. Yeah.
So it's like a what's the word? Like a portfolio. It's like a PDF style or a
Hmm.
portfolio for
Yeah.
PDF.
Hmm.
Okay, so it can host like it can show that entire PDF on the website. So you can have it to where like it has like this is my main work, and you can just like scroll through the PDF.
Hmm.
What you could also do, and V0 should be able to build a tool to do this, is separate that PDF into each of the portfolio pieces, and then
Hmm.
you can display each of those individually somewhere on the site.
Right. Okay. Do you think I should? Do you want me to upload it, or
This
should
is
we
your
just let it?
experience, so you tell
Okay.
me.
Yeah, I mean, it might be helpful because like one of the things I know that's like difficult, the thing that is the most annoying for me about my website, not on V0, but on the website builder, I also use Squarespace and I have feelings about it, is that whenever I have a new portfolio piece, I have to then go and either find a
Yeah.
website designer to help me with it because there's so much custom code on my website, or it's just complicated to like update with new clips. And all of us writers have new portfolio pieces constantly, but our websites are always out of date because it's like, well, I have something new. Am I going to really spend the time to format this and add all these pages? And so I'm trying to find faster ways to be able to be like, okay, I have a new, piece that came out in the LA Times or a new book that just came out. I just want to pull a chapter in and have it be on my website. I think that this is like a good use case for that also of being able to be like, okay, I'm just going to drop in my portfolio and just have it upload and then add a new portfolio item. So also thinking about Elizabeth, like how do you want your portfolio like pieces to show up on your website? And there's like a few different ways you could do that of having like a download button that links to your PDF, or you could even have like, like examples because I think there's like a section here that has like the titles of things and little like example like excerpts of it. So there's a
Hmm.
few ways that you can just kind of like give it some instructions and be like, I want it this
Yeah.
way, and just see what happens and see what it can pull from your portfolio. And Ricky and
Hmm.
Caroline, let me know if there's anything else there that might be helpful in terms of prompting for that stuff.
No, that's perfect. I got a little excited because one of the things I did for my page is that I added an admin part to the website where I have to put in a password so no one can access it without like knowing the password. And then I can go add in pieces directly on my website and it automatically updates like in real time. So if I have like a new book that I really liked and I'm like, oh, like I need people to know that I really like this book or I have like a new piece, etc., then I just go to my admin, I type in the information, I like put the image that I want and then it updates. So
So you do that on the go. Like you're
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah,
logging
yeah,
into
yeah.
V0 at all.
No, 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 no. Like on my website that V0 created for me, I
That's
had
Oh,
it create
cool.
this tool. Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah, I think it would be cool, like for it to for each like you said, I had it listed like each work. I mean, obviously it didn't have
Mhm.
my actual works in there, but if the person could click on that and then like see at least an excerpt or something of that.
Well,
Um,
so that's the thing, right? It quite literally can do whatever you want it to do.
right.
And
Okay.
I think like I think one of the things that I had to overcome is you kind of sometimes accept this limitation in your
Mm-hmm.
thinking because you don't think that you have the skills to do something.
Mm-hmm.
But once you unlock and you realize I can really do whatever with this tool, it kind of also like uncaps your creativity.
Yeah, for
And so
sure.
now it's not like, oh, can I do this? It's like, do I want to do this?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's
Yeah.
the framing I want you to think about, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
um, but
Cool.
it is finished. Do you like this design?
Um,
You don't
I
have
do
to.
like this. Yeah. No, I like it. I think it's nice. It's like it's retro, but it's classy, you know. Like, I didn't want it to look too I still want it to look professional, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
Ooh, I mean, I think you have your portfolio in the prompt. Is there a
yeah.
way, Ricky and Caroline, for like to for well, can it pull images from a PDF? Like, is that something that can do too? Because I think Elizabeth, you have like a headshot of yours in there. I'm curious
Hmm.
if that's something that would be helpful, or if there's anything that Elizabeth can prompt with her portfolio PDF, that would be helpful for kind of filling in the website a little more.
All right, so that's actually a good question. I don't know if the tool
Should
specifically can take an image. I'd imagine it can, but we can find out right
Yeah, I
now,
can
right?
ask it. So,
So
okay.
whatever it is, I like, hey, I want to show this PDF, or I want you to break up the PDF into sections, or I want to take my headshot, put it somewhere. Like you let it know.
My favorite thing with these like different tech tools is to see how lazy I can be with them. Like how little work can I actually do that this will do for me? And that's been working really well so far.
I will say, right? That works, and like I do that too, especially on my job. Like there's a lot of little things that I can be super lazy about, but the amount of time and effort you spend crafting your prompt does have a direct correlation to the quality of the output and you getting what you want. And like sometimes you can just like go and like do it little by little, and you end up taking longer than if you just like sit down and like think about exactly what it is. It just depends like whatever process you feel like going with or like it is related to the space that you're in, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
And that reminds me of like that quote that is like half of the trouble of like solving a problem is like naming it or naming the thing that you want done. And so I think good prompting, to Ricky, your point, is like clarity of thought and clarity of understanding the thing that you want to fix. So like Elizabeth trying to figure out how to get her website to have the style that she wants and the photography or the visual elements that she wants, and trying to figure out how to clarify that. No, I think that makes a ton of sense, Ricky. That's a good point.
Let's see what it's saying. Seems like it's doing it.
While we're waiting, do you want to show us your Squarespace website?
Oh, sure. I mean, it's not good, but um, yeah. This is the home page or whatever. Um,
I love the red hair.
my about page. I had a picture on there, but I took it down. I don't remember why, and then I never put it back up. Um, this is my publications list, which is not updated. And here's some music and
Oh, I
stuff.
like these cards. That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's all just designed by hand, but I'm not a designer. I don't know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's it.
That's, that's still going. This is doing some PDF parsing, so it likely will take
Sure, yeah.
a little bit of time.
Elizabeth, is there anything else that when you're thinking about kind of like the pieces? Because I like that music page that you had on your Squarespace website. It would be cool to make sure that all of that, like that is like represented pretty clearly. And then also a section on your website about songs to save your day, which is your Substack.
Yes.
And I
Mm-hmm.
also like you just launched it recently. And what's so cool is that you had a video of you doing a cover of and kind of talking, which was great, by the way. I loved your
Thank
first
you.
one of your first posts.
Oh,
And I
thank you.
love how you're blending storytelling and, doing music covers of songs and having all of these really cool storytelling pieces. So also making sure, because one of the things that has been really huge for me for bringing traffic to my Substack has been my website because Substack
Right.
is trash at being like indexed on SEO. And this is something I talk about a lot
Right.
is like Google just treats Substack like all the content's temporary. It doesn't index anything. It's awful. So many people have talked to me about this too. Whereas like if
Right.
your website is very indexable by Google and it's so much more helpful to have a website that points to your Substack.
Yeah.
And so that's why this is so important for a lot of the writers who will listen to this like on replay too, who have Substacks that they also need a separate writing portfolio to send traffic to their Substack. And so Ricky and Caroline, is there anything I know what for me, what I've used like these tools for is like also to help like keyword research and SEO. Have you guys
Mm-hmm.
done any of that?
Yes.
And like and I'm also curious like any best practices for like telling, V0 and be like, hey, these are the keywords I want to rank for. Memoir ghostwriter, hire a memoir ghostwriter, or things like that. Like those keywords have changed my life with the number of clients I've gotten in from that because I had to do a deep dive and do SEO manually. So maybe you two could talk a little bit about what like SEO can kind of what V0 can maybe help with SEO as well.
Yeah, that would
Yeah,
be great. I've always just accepted that my website is basically invisible, and that's just what it
Okay.
is.
That changes today.
yeah. Okay. I'm going to introduce you guys to a new term called AEO, and that is agent uh, engine optimization. And basically, now that we have, ChatGPT, we have, Claude, we have all of these new surfaces that people primarily are going to find content, to find things that they want to do, in addition to Google searches, which Google search is also now using a chat-like response. We think about how things work a little differently. So the first thing is like, is it clear what you do, right? Like when you look at the website, is it clear that hey, like I write, I make songs, I do X, Y, Z? And then another thing that agents and like these tools and like Google really care about is what are people saying about what you're doing. So if you have work and people like your work, you have to incorporate a way for them to know, like for like the tools to know that, hey, like people like this. I should keep sending people here. So whether that's like a like button like I did, whether that's like adding comments, whether that's like adding a review, it's really up to you, right? Like, and you have to decide how, like as a creative, you have to decide whether or not that is worth it to you, right? But like there's things like that, and then you absolutely could just like ask Visual, like, hey, like I really want to make sure people can see my work. What do I need to add, or like what can I include? I don't want to get like too into the technical things that you can do, but Visual will go a long way, and asking it will go a long way in helping you with that. And I know that was like a new thing, so if anyone like if there's a follow-up question about AEO,
Yeah, and
please.
if anybody has questions, I know this is a lot of new information. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in the Q&A box and we can answer them. But I just want to build on that. Like one of our writers landed a really big memoir ghostwriting project from our job board, and that client was a Buddhist monk who found us through ChatGPT. And so it's like there's the SEO is so important for this stuff. And oh, I see it generated, or it was generating things. But yeah, so the AI SEO is so important for writers. And I think that the writers and creatives who are thinking about how does AI recommend my work to people, because it is like the new frontier of, and one of the things that we've really learned is like trying to figure out how your content can naturally ask questions that people are searching for in these like AI boxes. So I think that that stuff is like really, really important and also complicated sometimes to really think about that. So Ricky, I like the point of just asking, in the chat box and being like, how do I have my website? How do I have people who want to hire me for memoir ghostwriting or, blog writing or SEO, or not even SEO writing, because that's kind of like starting to change a lot. But how do anything that I want clients to find me for or readers to find me for, like if I write romantasy, like how do they find me? Like how do I get in these like new form of search engines and have my things be recommended? Like this is kind of like the new frontier, and so many of us now use these tools in lieu of Google, which is both interesting and also a little scary too.
So basically, I could just ask it, like, I don't necessarily want it writing the content, all the content for me. I guess that's probably not a great idea, but just ask it for ideas for basically making myself more visible, making my website more visible, and how to drive traffic to my Substack. Like, just ask it that outright and it will answer me. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
You want to look at some of the changes? It
Yeah.
looks like it didn't grab the specific images. I think you're gonna have to upload those
Yeah, no, that's
a
not
bit
me.
later. But
That's okay.
I like the little animations, like the
I like the
swirling
fan page
button.
people. Yeah. Yeah, that's really nice. I mean, it just looks super professional. It's great. Oh yeah, so it picked up my pieces here. So I guess I can like click on them and
I am from LA,
nice.
so shout out to LA. I saw that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I lived there for some years. Let's see, how do I get back? Cool. And then it has like a contact. This is great.
Ooh,
And
I like that work with me section right there.
Yeah, me too. I like how it makes everything a little bit off kilter. That's actually it's nice.
something I do a lot is like
Great.
if there's specific edits you want to make, I take screenshots of an area on the page and like get easier to hone in on that. And get pretty specific there. And I find that helpful.
You take screenshots of the page that it has created. Okay,
Yeah.
just for the
So like if
section.
you wanted
Cool.
something changed,
Hmm.
just to because I find that like I get to use less language than having to like
Right.
describe on the left corner. Blah, blah, blah.
Right, right. Cool. Okay, that's a good idea. I mean, I like this a lot. Um,
Nice. Do you want to deploy it? Like, do you want to make it for people to be able to go to it?
well, I mean, I still have to put my pictures and stuff in it,
Uh,
but yeah, so like I mean, I would like to, like we talked about, kind of bring in some of the music stuff too, which is not like it's sort of really zeroed in on my portfolio, which is great, but I need to add some of the music stuff back in
Would it be
somehow.
possible, Ricky, for Elizabeth to just take the URL of her music page and could it like start to create a section like that page? Like, can it grab embeddable content, or is that a layer too deep?
Oh, that's a good question.
And then
Should we try
also, yeah, we could try
it?
it. Also, Ariana in the Q&A says, looking at the website it created for you, and it looks really great. Thanks, Ariana. Yeah, Elizabeth, I do think that it's
Yeah.
looking really nice so
Yeah,
far.
I like it.
Yeah, maybe because it's like that would be maybe you could click on the link and be like, or share the link of your music page and be like, can you make me a section with this?
Well,
And then Ricky, let me know
Yeah.
if there's anything other like little prompt things that we should add with this to try to capture some of this, because I think this page has some of the best content on your website, Elizabeth. Like I do think
Hmm.
that like I love the gif of you of the younger
Yeah.
like version of you like playing. Like I think that that's like I love that, and I love all the Spotify stuff. So Ricky, let me know if there's anything else that might be helpful for Elizabeth and trying to migrate some of this stuff over for Elizabeth prompt wise.
No, I think that should work. I think if you copy that URL and then you say like, hey, I want to move this content over, but I want it to match the theme,
Okay.
you know, so that my music is displayed, whatever, that. Um, Now, I imagine you had to do some sort of Spotify integration when you were on Squarespace.
I think it was just an embed
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll see if it finds the embedding, but if not, then we can also prompt it to do that too.
Yeah. Okay.
And I know we have like around 5 or so minutes left. Ricky and Caroline, is there anything that you think would be helpful for Elizabeth to know going forward as we're waiting for it to do his thing, or anything writers should know? I know there's so much here, and there's so much we could talk about, but more conceptually with like prompting or kind of like, where to go from here, where Elizabeth is right now, like what are some things to think about with like the project or anything else that you think that the writers on this call or those watching the replay should know?
Yeah, if I had to give advice about prompting, I would say you guys asked me a couple questions like, can it do this? Can it do that? And if you notice, like I had to think about it for a little bit. And the reason that is because there's so many things that can be done. Like the universe of what's possible gets widened so much that I just haven't explored everything and I never will be able to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you ever come to a point where like I wonder if this can happen, just try it out. Like you can always go back, you can always undo it, but just try it out. Like
Mm-hmm.
I spent time yesterday with this new AI tool, and I was just asking it like, "Yo, can you do this?" Oh, cool. Like, and then right, you just like just go back and forth. Think start with like the experimentation of it before you get so caught up in the it needs to have this outcome, right? Like unless you have a deadline coming up, like just take the time to do the exploration and see what's possible.
So, like, if you have it try to make a change that you want and then it doesn't quite get it, you just tell it, like, go back to whatever version, or it's not
You
like a
can do that.
control Z thing.
Or if you click do you see the V3 in the top
V3.
right?
V3 in the top right. Oh, yeah.
You can go back to a previous version.
Oh, okay.
So
Wow, cool.
yeah.
So
You
it
can
just like catalogs all that, huh?
You can also in the chat delete specific prompts as well.
Oh,
And if
okay.
you delete a prompt, it will bring it back to the state of which you made that prompt in.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So then, like, once I get this all to the point that I'm ready to publish it,
Mhm.
I how do I take it to the domain that I already have established? Or like,
Okay, so
yeah.
you see that publish button?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna click that, and then we're gonna customize domain,
Okay.
and
And then I just type my
we're gonna,
domain in and okay.
you're gonna have to the way you're gonna have to create a Vercel project first, which means first, if you click out of this, you're gonna want to go to publish, and you're gonna want to publish to production. And this is going to make it so that we do a couple things under the hood here that you don't really need to worry about. But once this is finished, you'll be able to go to customize domain and then put yours in.
Okay.
I will say though, you probably will need to unlink that domain from your existing site.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Right.
Otherwise, like it won't know which to serve.
Right.
But then, yeah, you'll be able to add the domain there.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much for all your help.
Yeah.
Amazing. I think the music and sound section
Oh, is it
generated
done?
if we want to see what it looks like and you can see what you think of it.
Who's that lady?
Yeah, so it looks like it didn't grab the specifics.
Yeah, but I could upload that. I mean, I think I have that. I have that GIF somewhere.
And then if you want to go, it finished publishing. So if you want to go,
Oh, okay.
click that button again, and if you just click that site, this is your website that I can go
Okay.
type in on my browser, and I will see this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if
Cool.
you want to, we can do if you go back to V0,
Hmm.
we can do like a test, go to customize domain, and then you can like write something else in that you want. Just for
Okay.
now, we can just say like, you can call it whatever you want. So you can That
Um,
Verc domain may not be available.
uh,
Okay, I need to look at why this is happening because that should not be happening. Yeah.
okay.
Awesome.
Well, that's good. We found something to troubleshoot.
Yeah,
I
we'll
would
give
say
we'll give
Verc,
Ricky
but
some
like
work.
I have to think about it. This is so too good to be true.
Amazing. Elizabeth, thank you so much for coming on for the demo. Do you
Thank
have any
you all so
last
much.
questions for Ricky and Caroline before we wrap up?
I don't think so. I'm just excited to get in there and like keep playing with this. So what was the code that you gave us earlier?
Oh
Where
yeah.
is that to be used?
Yeah, can we walk through that real quick, Caroline
Yeah.
and Ricky?
If you click see your profile icon on the top right corner, click that, and then go to credits, and then scroll down a little bit, and you'll see redeem usage code, and then you redeem code, and it's
Okay, great.
v0 dash writers dash workshop.
Awesome.
Amazing. And thank you, Ricky and Caroline, for the credits, and thank you for taking the
Of
time out of
course.
your busy schedule to share with us. And yeah, is there anything, Ricky and Caroline, that you want to say as we wrap up? And thanks again, Elizabeth, for coming on and being part of this as well. But obviously, I'm a huge fan of V0 and Vercel and what you guys are building. Is there anything else that you want to share with our writers or anybody watching the replay?
I think I said everything that.
Share what you build with us. Amy, it'd be great. Like I want to see what everyone's websites are. We can all hype each other up. And share with your other writer friends and other creative friends. I was beaming over here hearing what Ricky was saying. And I think it's a really exciting moment. And I'm choosing to be very hopeful about what it means for creatives. And so share with others.
Amazing. Awesome. Well, thank you again, Ricky and Caroline. Thank you, Elizabeth. And thank you everybody who tuned in. And yeah, I'll send out an email with the details that you shared, Caroline. And yeah, thank you so much. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of your Thursday evening.